Tag TV brings you daily news bulletin from India. Breaking news.
Good evening. Welcome to South Asia Newsline. I'm Surbhi Sharma. Here are the top stories we are tracking for you on Thursday, the 28th of February. India will fight and win as one, says Indian Prime Minister amid tensions with Pakistan. Taliban says it sees troop withdrawal as key to peace in Afghanistan. And Nepal Tourism Minister's body brought back to Kathmandu. And now for all the details. Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi on Thursday said that India would live and work, fight and win as one amid the ongoing conflict with neighbouring Pakistan. Tensions have been running high since at least 40 Indian paramilitary police personnel were killed in a terror attack on February 14th by Pakistan-based terrorists in India's Jammu and Kashmir.
Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi on Thursday said that India would live, work, grow, fight and win as one amid ongoing conflict with the neighbouring Pakistan. Modi, who faces a general election this year, told a rally of supporters through video conferencing that India would unite against its enemies.
India will live as one. India will work as one. India will grow as one. India will fight as one. India will win as one.
India and Pakistan both said they shot down each other's fighter jets on Wednesday, with Pakistan capturing an Indian pilot a day after Indian warplanes struck terror camps inside Pakistan. On Wednesday, Pakistani officers were seen looking at the remains of the Pakistani F-16 fighter jet shot down by the Indian Air Force. Meanwhile, US President Donald Trump said on Thursday there would be some reasonably decent news on the ongoing conflict between India and Pakistan as world powers have urged restraint from the two nations.
We have, I think, reasonably attractive news from Pakistan and India. They've been going at it, and we've been involved in trying to have them stop. And we have some reasonably decent news. I think hopefully that's going to be coming to an end. It's been going on for a long time, decades and decades. There's a lot of dislike, unfortunately. So we've been in the middle trying to help them both out, see if we can get some organization and some peace. And I think probably that's going to be happening.
Meanwhile, Pakistan's Prime Minister Imran Khan announced in Parliament on Thursday afternoon that the Indian pilot shot down and captured by Pakistani forces this week will be released as a peace gesture on Friday.
Hindustan ka pilot humne pakda hua hai. Hum as a peace gesture, hum usko kal riha karne lage hain Hindustan ko wapas.
Meanwhile, security remained tight on Thursday over India's Jammu and Kashmir province, which borders Pakistan. There were also reports of continuing exchange of fire between the troops of both the countries along the border.
Rescue workers on Wednesday recovered another body of an unidentified mine worker from the Rat Hole coal mine in India's northeastern Meghalaya province. The first body was recovered by the Indian Navy divers earlier in January from the flooded coal mine in which 15 miners were trapped on December 13th last year. Multiple agencies have been deployed by the provincial government to rescue rest of the trapped miners. Thousands of workers have been killed in rat hole mines in Meghalaya in past many years. India's Environmental Court has banned the practice in early 2014. In news from Afghanistan, the fifth round of talks, which started earlier this week between the US and Taliban on Afghan peace, were called off on Thursday. A spokesperson for Taliban political office in Qatar said the war will come to end in the country and the Taliban fighters will join the ranks of the Afghan army if the two sides seal an agreement on the withdrawal of foreign forces from Afghanistan. The talks will resume on Saturday.
On the third day of the talks between US negotiators and Taliban members in Doha, the two sides continued their discussions on foreign forces withdrawal and that Afghanistan's territory will not be used as a threat against any other country following a peace deal. Suhail Shaheen, a spokesperson for Taliban's political office in Qatar, told reporters that the war will come to an end in the country and the Taliban fighters will join the ranks of the Afghan army if the two sides seal an agreement on the withdrawal of foreign forces from Afghanistan. He said talks between the Taliban and the Afghan government is an internal issue and that the Taliban is currently carrying out talks with the US about troop withdrawal.
هنگامی که اشغال پایان یابد و تمامی نیروهای خارجی افغانستان را ترک کنند و یک حکومت اسلامی فراگیر افغانی در کشور ایجاد شود، در این صورت فکر میکنم نیازی به جنگ نیست. یک صلح پایدار در کشور خواهد آمد و تمامی نظامیان و افراد ما به یک اردوی ملی خواهند پیوست.
Meanwhile, a number of former Taliban members said if a peace deal is reached with the Taliban, the group will not repeat the mistakes they have made in the past. This is the fifth round of talks between the US and the Taliban on Afghan peace, which was called off on Thursday. The talks will resume on Saturday.
More news from Afghanistan. Mayor of Afghanistan's Medan Shahar city, Zarifa Ghaffari, has finally started her official work after a lot of disagreements and obstructions. She was appointed to the post 9 months ago and had claimed that local lawbreakers and even officials defied her appointment. Zarifa Ghaffari, mayor of Medan Shahar city in Afghanistan's Wardak province, who was appointed to the position 9 months ago, has finally started her work officially after a lot of disagreements and obstructions. She won the city square 9 months ago in a free competition, but the situation was such that she could not start at the same time. Ghaffari said she has a lot of plans now and it is important to build a space for belief between the government and the common people.
په ډیرو مشکلاتو میزان رسولی او اوس غواړم ولس ته خدمت وکړم ټول مې مخه نیسي دا واقعا دردونکی و ماته
د موږ سره د جناب رئیس جمهور فرمان مهم دی د خو فرمان په حساب زم راغلی یم او دلته چې څومره فعالیتونه هم کوو د فرمان په حساب باندې دا فرمان ته موږ احترام لرو دا عملي کړی دی دا به عملي کوو.
Ghaffari, since her appointment, had raised concern over local lawbreakers in the province defying her position. She earlier claimed that even local officials in the province defied her appointment despite being confirmed under an order by President Ashraf Ghani. Moving on to news from Nepal, bodies of 7 persons, including Nepal's Tourism and Civil Aviation Minister Rabindra Adhikari, were brought back to capital Kathmandu city on Thursday. The minister and his team were killed in a helicopter crash in eastern Nepal on Wednesday.
Bodies of 7 persons, including the Nepal Tourism Minister Rabindra Adhikari, who died in a helicopter crash on Wednesday, were brought back to capital Kathmandu on Thursday. A search team recovered the bodies from the crash site in Taplejung district, about 185 miles east of Kathmandu near the border with India. The crash occurred on Wednesday when Tourism Minister Rabindra Adhikari was returning to Kathmandu with his team after offering obeisance at a temple, local media reported.
यो अत्यन्त दुःखद घटना हो यो हामी सबैको लागि पीडित परिवार मात्रै होइन हामी सबैको लागि सिङ्गो मुलुकको लागि अत्यन्त पीडादायक यो घटना हो यो घटना कसरी घट्यो त्यसको बारेमा छानबिन गर्नको लागि एउटा आयोग पनि बनाएको छ.
Reports said the helicopter crashed a minute after it took off due to bad weather in eastern Nepal, killing everyone on board. Air crashes are common in mostly mountainous Nepal, home to 8 of the world's 14 highest mountain peaks, including the Mount Everest.
More news from Nepal. Indian ambassador to Nepal on Wednesday said that terrorism is the worst form of human rights violations. He made the remarks while addressing a remembrance ceremony organized in honor of the Indian security personnel killed in a terror attack in Kashmir earlier this month.
Terrorism is the worst form of human rights violations, Indian ambassador to Nepal, Manjeev Singh Puri, said on Wednesday while addressing a remembrance ceremony organized in honor of the Indian personnel killed in a terror attack earlier this month. Puri recalls the sacrifice made by the fallen soldiers of India's paramilitary police force, reinforcing that terrorism can never be justified. The event was organized in the Embassy of India in Nepal.
Terrorism, लोग अंग्रेजी में कहते हैं कि is one of the biggest existentialist threats of our times. It makes no distinction between borders, gender or religion. It is the worst form of human rights violation and cannot be justified on any grounds whatsoever. The scourge of global terrorism can only be dealt by concerted global action. And any attempt to justify terrorism in any manner possible is extremely deplorable and should be condemned.
On February 14, a convoy of vehicles carrying security personnel of India's Central Reserve Police Force was attacked by the suicide bomber in Pulwama district of India's Jammu and Kashmir province. The attack, claimed by the Pakistan-based Jaish-e-Mohammed terror group, resulted in the deaths of at least 40 security personnel.
A 5-day-long fish farming training program was recently organized in Srinagar city of India's northern Jammu and Kashmir province to provide training to the fish farmers and promoting fish culture in the province. The fishery experts demonstrated various techniques regarding fish feeding, netting and marketing of their produce during the training program.
A 5-day-long training program for fish farming was recently organized in Srinagar city of India's northern Jammu and Kashmir province. Several fish farmers hailing from different parts of the region took part in the training camp and shared their views on the promotion of fish culture in the valley. During the training camp, the fishery experts demonstrated various techniques regarding netting in fish ponds to the farmers, besides educating them about fish feeding, hygiene, water quality and marketing of their produce.
प्रोग्राम आज के दिन के हवाले से है बहुत अच्छे फ़ायदेमंद है। जो हमारे पास अभी टेक्नोलॉजी से मालूमात नहीं है वो हम इनसे हासिल कर रहे हैं ताकि जो ये प्राइवेट सेक्टर है फिशरीज का ये दिन ब दिन तरक्की करे।
ये ट्रेनिंग प्रोग्राम अंडर आत्मा में आ रहा है। हमने आज ये ट्रेनिंग प्रोग्राम इन सर्दियों में ही मुनक्कद किया है। सर्दी के बावजूद भी हमने ये ट्रेनिंग प्रोग्राम ऑर्गेनाइज़ किया और ये 5 दिन का ट्रेनिंग प्रोग्राम चल रहा है और हमने हर डिस्ट्रिक्ट के फार्मर्स को बुलाए हैं और यहाँ हम उनको ट्रेनिंग दे रहे हैं बोथ कार्प एज वेल एज ट्राउट।
India's federal government also provides financial assistance and incentives to fish farmers, including nets, feed and other equipments to boost fish culture in the province.
A 35-year-old cyclist in India's southern Chennai city has taken up a mission of cycling over 5,000 miles to create awareness among the people about human trafficking and child abuse. The cyclist would cover up a distance of 120 kilometers every day to reach Hamburg city in Germany within a span of 90 days.
With an objective of creating awareness among the people about human trafficking and child abuse, a cyclist has begun a mission, Freedom Seat, to cycle over 5,200 miles from southern India's Chennai city to northern Germany's Hamburg city. 35-year-old Naresh Kumar started his journey on Wednesday and has plans to cover approximately 74 miles every day to reach Germany within a span of 90 days. Once an electronics engineer in the US, Naresh has taken up the cycling mission to raise money for survivors of human trafficking and child abuse.
Starting a big mission called Freedom Seat, where I'll be cycling 8,500 kilometers from Chennai, India to Hamburg, Germany. The reason for this cause is to end human slavery. I'm raising awareness about human trafficking and also funds to help the victims of human trafficking.
Naresh is taking up the journey with minimum clothing and accessories. He is carrying a GPS gadget that would help his family and friends track him on the journey. The items in his travel bag include a toolkit, spare tubes for his cycle, a sleeping bag and a tent.
Well, that's all we have for you from South Asia this evening. Now our viewers can watch the show on southasianewsline.com. You can also visit us on facebook.com/SAsiaNewsline and follow us on Twitter @SAsiaNewsline. That's all in tonight's edition. We will see you same time tomorrow. Good night.